We are here for a huge night. As you'll see, we have a new person on the panel here tonight. And I tell you what, folks, sorry about raining out last week. 2 weeks off for me, unfortunately, so it seems like it's been forever. But tell you what, we're racing. It is a beautiful night. We have action-packed everything going on tonight. So besides the action-packed racing and awesome racing, we have our Hall of Fame night, which we moved back a week. So always a great night. I have Tim Cooney here from our Hall of Fame committee. We have him here along with Evan Baldwin. I'm Cliff Baldwin here with that. And also it is our Salute to Trucker night. So talk about two huge nights, and we got a big show for you tonight, and we're going to keep things moving right along tonight. So
yeah, I'm not going to be on the show much. We're going to have our first sponsor here on, and then we'll get into some Hall of Fame. But you guys do a lot better with the Hall of Fame stuff than me, because a lot of these guys were before my time. So I grew up watching a couple of them, but some of these people were way before my time. So it's better that you guys talk to them than me. So
you're calling us old, Tim.
I heard that. Man, it's great to be here on Hall of Fame night. It's my favorite night of the year. Appropriately, we're at the Dusty Whitehead stage. You know,
Yep.
Dusty, just a long-time racer here. But I was fortunate. I've been on the track with all three of our drivers.
Yep.
And no, it's great night to be here.
Yep, and they're all pretty much done driving too. except this guy here, he got the car out, so he's going to be out there turning circles for us tonight.
Yeah,
so
car will be here tonight.
Going to be good to see the old coon dog out there again. So I tell you what, so like I said, it's action-packed tonight. Tonight is our Salute to Truckers. And our sponsor for that, we can't thank enough, and that's Keen Thummel Trucking. So, I mean, Katie's going to join us here real quick. So, Katie Meyer from Keen Thummel Trucking, but we can't thank them enough. This thing gets bigger and bigger every year. It's an awesome event. I know of no one else that's ever even tried this. So, I mean, this was a Bob Harris idea that turned into be a huge thing, and I just think it's one of the coolest sponsorships we do is when you get those 40, 50 trucks out there on that racetrack going around. That's just the coolest thing ever. So, look forward to doing that. So, tell you what, guys, Katie's here.
yeah, we'll get her in here.
We'll get her in here, and we'll get her right on the show. Come on in. If you turn back up here. All right, Katie.
Hi.
I already introduced you, but you couldn't hear it. But anyway, Katie from Keen Thummel Trucking, thank you very much for being here. This thing has been an awesome deal with we talked a lot about Steve last year, but Steve Cavendish is just the great ambassador we ever had here, and the announcer and everything, and he's been a part of Keen Thummel Trucking for a long time, and you're gracious enough to keep it going for us. So
yeah.
And I think you guys are a perfect fit for this thing, and we just want to keep making it bigger. We moved it up this year, hoping to try to get it away from the state fair.
Yes.
It seemed like we did that too. Steve was always at the state fair, so he could never come. So,
yep.
But tell you what, thanks a lot for coming. Last you said we might have 10 trucks here from Keen Thummel.
That's what we're hoping. This is an event that it's difficult to just be here, but we've got several of them that wanted to make it a priority, so we tried to make it a priority. Every year, any guy that comes is gabbing about it for quite a long time. So,
and some of them might not have it scheduled because of Father's Day tomorrow.
Yes,
so happy
exactly.
Father's Day in the year, real quick for everybody too.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, some of them probably want to take off for Father's Day too, or try to schedule around that. So that's kind of nice. So we're gonna have about 10 of your trucks. Is the wrecker coming?
The wrecker's here.
Awesome. Okay, then I'm heading
I
there
know.
now. So
Yeah.
good, because that's a cool deal. So. 10 of how many trucks do you guys have on the road now?
Oh, right at 170 or so right now.
So nationwide still, absolutely,
Yep.
right?
Drive-in, step deck. I think we have guys out of 25 states now doing a lot of
Thanks.
working for good people here locally. PPI in Corning Linux, that's one of our main customers. Kawasaki in Maryville, Altec in St. Joe. I'll probably miss a ton of them,
Right.
but they're 15, 20 good customers here locally that produce really good things.
Yep.
Those
are the area. Always usually see the rig sitting down there at Highway 2 and 71 in Corona.
Oh, yeah.
That's, that's an icon spot there too. So yeah, you guys are nationwide. That's what's cool. And then you're based out of Newmarket, Iowa, which is absolutely awesome because that's where my family's from. That's where my mom and grew up with everything. So I know Newmarket real well and know a lot of people down there. But it's neat to have a company like this, small town Iowa.
Totally.
That's what's absolutely awesome. And shows people that we can do it out here in small town Iowa.
It shows relationships and how important relationships are and how they can just build beautiful things.
Yep. And the other cool thing I want to mention is we have a shirt made every year. Dre Hampel with Underdog Design does a great job, and you guys approve it, and you guys are the big part of that, thank goodness. And I'm sure your drivers and your company loves having those shirts too. So try to do a different color every year. I saw it online. I thought that was black.
Me too.
I did, but it's a dark. It's a very dark blue, which is cool.
Yep.
So I thought, we're doing black this year because I don't think we've done a black one yet. So that'll be in the future here. So, but it's neat, and Keene Thummel Trucking. To me, it's iconic because I always recognize it. Number one, it's usually it's white. The design, the Keene Thummel, how it swoops, that's always been there. I think we have a couple of drivers locally, I think, but a lot of times they're parked right down here, just south of the track.
Yep.
On the interstate, when I'm out and about, always recognize Keene Thummel guys.
Clean.
Yep.
We love
absolutely
clean.
Correct. Yep. And you guys hire great people all the time, and so.
It's the goal.
Yep. So, it's also neat that we get a lot of local companies here coming in for this. I know Corning Reynolds here this year. That's the first time for them. That's really neat. Matt Basher, I think he's got 4 trucks. My neighbor drives for him, so it's kind of neat that that's doing. So, but it's neat to have that local feel. Like I always tell elevators, get your vehicle here. All you farmers, bring them in. So, and there's a lot of them supposed to be bringing them. So you just never know. So. I'm still shooting for 50. I want to get 50.
I think this year it's going to happen.
It's going to be a record. I want a record. So So our record's still 44. So we're always close right there. So, any questions, Tim? I know you're a Hall of Fame guy, but any questions for Keene?
Oh, not really. Just say they've some really nice looking trucks.
Yeah, they are.
It'll be a great event. People need to get out here and see it because if you haven't, it's
cool.
It's cool, spectacular.
Because what the plan is like normal. We'll try to get a little bit into the race. We'll do some features first because it's just so much better if it's a little darker.
Yes.
Because a lot of those guys have the old underglow out there and like to really show that stuff off. But around intermission time, we'll have some of them out there. We'll get the old tooting the horn because that gets the crowd wound up. So that's always cool too.
It'll be fun.
So you had 170 some trucks, but how many employees do you have now?
Oh, probably 250 or so.
So it takes a lot of office staff.
Yep.
The coordination and all that stuff. I know that's because I sit and think how that stuff works. Because like you guys will, if I'm right, it's like you'll take a load somewhere, but in the meantime, you're also trying to get a load from where you're at to bring something. You're always trying to coordinate all that stuff.
Yeah, it's like a puzzle every day that you're putting together. So you got a puzzle with all the guys home right now for Father's Day and things, and then in the morning on Monday, they've already started, but figuring out what customer needs are and trying to match up who's where, what's what.
They call that, is it logistics?
That? Lots of logistics.
And then you got dispatchers that keep real busy, right?
So, yes.
Like how many people have to dispatch?
We've got 5 on the dry van side, 5 on the step deck side, and they kind of work as a team all together. Van-wise, right around 79-ish, 80 trucks or so. Step deck-wise, right around 90. So, they take care of it.
And the other things people don't think about is you have staff that, hey, I broke down.
Oh gosh!
So you have staff
Sam.
that have to, and I'm sure you try to coordinate all over the country. Who you deal with to send somebody. You have obviously a list where you can send somebody to get repaired.
Peterbilt's our people, so we've got good connections with them. Sam at the shop is key in making all of our repairs on the road happen. We couldn't do it without him. He's an all-star.
So, you have the record here, the pole rig, but how far do they go out? Just how far you got to go?
Yeah. It's more so based on is it smarter for us to go get our equipment and bring it back home and fix it?
Right.
A lot of times, yes, and bring a truck out to that guy so he doesn't have any lost time. Right. Or little lost time, or we'd rather not be waiting around at a Peterbilt shop or some random shop on the road. Now it's it doesn't always work that way, but try as often as we can to be smart.
Right. Cost of repair probably varies.
Oh my gosh, cost of a road call, insane.
So you have awesome employees, absolutely. what does it take? I mean, are you guys hiring some, or you're at that point? Where
Right now we're full, which is always good. You know, our best voice for how the job is and that kind of thing is our people, and they always are bringing me more good people. That's our preference on how to get people. In fact, we've got a waiting list right now, which is kind of unique, and you know, there's a lot of struggle. People with owner-operator situations that are just not making ends meet. The benefit of a company is, you know, we take care of all the breakdowns. We take care of everything, and they tend to go, you know, they do pretty well.
I know you guys, your company probably likes your experience, so you like experienced drivers, obviously. So
2 years.
That's key. So a lot of that comes down to insurance too, you know.
100%. Yep.
Cliff, that makes me wonder on these trucks tonight out here, you know, if they get a wheel burn or a little fender tore off, insurance is good, correct?
No, don't work like that. Not on the racetrack.
We don't want that. Rubbin's not trucking. Rubbin's racing. So we're not doing that on the racetrack. So I instruct them to just go out there and take it easy, have fun. You know.
That's right.
Because we had a couple of local ex-racers that do some trucking, and there was a night when they kind of let everybody leave, and then decided to haul tail down the backstretch to have a little fun, which...
Oh, boy.
But everybody was gone by then. Anything else you want to add, Katie?
No, we just appreciate the invite always here.
This is such a cool night.
Yeah, people love it.
Yeah, it is. And so many kids, I know several that this is their night.
Yeah.
They just...
Too fun.
Oh, yeah. And I know I got a few that are like to ride, so... And I think I got another one that... a gal from Newmarket. She's going to have her dog on the truck, too. So they have their companions. So I'll tell you what, Katie, thank you guys very much for helping us with this. This is one of my favorite nights. I was with Hall of Fame, so it's a big night for me.
Yeah.
So this is two big nights into one for me tonight. So, but it'll be one to remember. And thank you guys very much for being a part of it. Katie Meyer from Keene Tumble Trucking. Any trucking need, contact them right in Newmarket, Iowa, because that's the coolest part of it. It's right here local, without a doubt, man. It's without a doubt. So thanks you very much, and appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, you bet.
We'll see you
out and about
out there at the driver meeting. I'll probably have a driver meeting real quick, but most of you guys are experienced, but I'll have them announced. So.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. Thanks, Cliff.
Take care. Evan, come on over here. I got it. They want me to turn up here. Okay, now let's get a Hall of Fame.
You want to go to a quick commercial?
Yeah, why don't we do a quick commercial? Make sure our commercials are working here, and then we'll get our first Hall of Famer on tonight. Hot dog, it went.
Okay, awesome.
Video clips. Okay. You'll have to help me with that. You'll have to help me with that.
Click on them, click and fire. Make sure when it's done, click to the next one.
Too busy at work to wait in a long line at Subway? Order online at order.subway.com. Simply register with your email and password and order away. You can also download the Subway app on your smartphone. Order up to 6 subs, salads, or pizza. Ready in 15 minutes once order is submitted. Also add chips, cookies, and drinks easily. And Subway's back to normal hours Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Order online at Subway in Red Oak, Clarinda, Shenandoah. Best Finish Auto Sales and Service is proud of the quality used vehicles they sell and their dedication to serve the needs of their customers. Whether it's your first purchase or one of many that you've had, you can count on their dedicated sales staff to make the best buying experience possible. They also offer financing on your vehicle purchase. Best Finish can also take care of your service needs, from oil change, brakes, alignment, air conditioning, to any body shop and repair needs. Stop by Best Finish Auto Sales and Service at 209 Sharp Street in Glenwood for all of your vehicle needs.
What if we could harness the power of the sun by using the earth to transform the way we use energy? Water furnace geothermal systems are simply the most efficient way to keep your family comfortable. Winter or summer, day or night, rain or shine, without burning fossil fuels. Giving you the freedom to focus on life.
Call Camlin Mechanical or visit camlinmechanical.com for your water furnace needs today.
Are you interested in starting a career instead of just getting another job? Well, hop on over to Fresco System USA and let us help you find the one for you. We offer competitive wages, benefits starting day one, and so much more. You can pick up an application at 2026 Fernwood Avenue, find us on Indeed, Better Team, and Facebook, or call 712-623-8100, extension 6659. Spring into action and join the Fresco team today.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside Live here at Adams County Speedway. It is Hall of Fame night, and we have our first Hall of Fame guest here, the number 5 car of Jeremy Houck, the 5-star, what I call it. So, welcome, Jeremy.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
Guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Very honored.
Very deserving. So,
yeah, I'd just like to say that you did a really, really nice. Your bio is really well done, nice bio, and everybody really needs to pick up a copy of that. And what I had the privilege of being on the racetrack with you, and I just congratulations on being nominated and being voted on the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Tim. That means a lot coming from you.
Yeah, he's the resident old guy, you know. So.
Well,
okay, I ask questions all the time. How many generations? How was it? What do I say? Century? Not centuries.
Decades.
Decades.
You know you're old when you're part of a trivia question.
Yeah, exactly.
But on the track, talking about Jeremy, you know I saw the back. I saw Moonshine Express from the backside of it a lot of times. But no, Jeremy, man, what did you think when you got the call and it was when I got a hold of you? It was kind of tough, but.
Yeah, no, actually I was pretty busy, but when you did catch me there, I was surprised. You definitely caught me off guard when you and Tony called, and happy and surprised. Yeah.
Well, we try to when we count the votes on the night we count the votes, as soon as we know the results, we get the news out. We get a hold of people because we don't want you to hear on Facebook, see on Facebook or somewhere that I'm on the Hall of Fame. I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, we want a personal call, that's for sure, and we can get the word out as quickly as possible. So, but yeah, it's like I said, very deserving. You know, Houck is a big name here at the Adams County Speedway without a doubt. You know, Ray was a big part of this place. A story I never tell about Ray, not to take away from you, Jeremy, but the flood. And I was down here floating around, and Ray came in. He goes, first thing he did, he swam out there with me. I swear to God, he was, what can I do? You know, that was the coolest thing. Of you know, whatever we need to get it in here now. And, you know, and we had this place. We could have raced that weekend if everything else would have been fine. But the track, we had it all pumped off and ready to go. That's what I remember that so well. But that, and then it just snowballed from there, and Ray became more and more involved and became our director. And you know, it's just. We went from there, so, and he had the passion for this place, like a lot of us do.
Absolutely, a lot of passion.
Thing, you know, and I know you have it. Go ahead, Tim.
So let's get into it, Jeremy. What got you? When did you get interested in racing? What got you interested in racing? And what do you think of the Adams County Speedway?
Well, I love this place for one. As far as getting interested in it, I can remember being here a lot when I was pretty young. And then I suppose junior high school days, you know, we got to, you know, we were here all the time. We got to traveling around a lot, watching, you know, the Bush Tour and the UMP and the Hava-Tampa stuff. So definitely always had the itch to be involved with it. And as the years went on, we, you know, I kind of hung around some of the guys, you know, that were around here local, and then got involved with Tony Hardesty some, and his program was changing shape with Rex Haggerty, and they were going to go modified racing. So Tony got me his car, and we got a hold of it, and that's kind of how it all started. And that was, I think, in the winter of '96.
So you've been, I know you've been in the pits helping Kralik on his modified Sum. Do you ever want to get back in a car?
Yes and no, I guess.
You're lying if you said no. I'm sorry. I'm telling you right now.
The one thing I do realize, it takes a lot of time if you're going to do it right. And with the trucking, it seems like we're pretty busy, and I could probably make it work. Could probably field a good car and a competitive car, but I have a good time helping Kralik and helping Hunter, and just being around that way, and I appreciate them guys letting me be involved. So that kind of takes care of my itch.
So I don't administer our Facebook, but I have to respond once in a blue moon because I get all the updates. But I loved we got the Crown Vics going. I think you and Tim Taylor and maybe some others love to get into one, and there's real strict rules on it. But I said to myself, we'll get this thing going. We need to do a nostalgia Crown Vic class. Seriously, I think you guys would love it myself. But
maybe put us in some stock cars or something.
You made a very good point there. I don't think people sometimes realize how much time it takes to run any of these race cars. And while people are quick to say, "Oh, he's got money, he's spending a lot of money," whatever. Money's great, don't get me wrong, but that time factor that you're talking about is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I was taught it, early on by, Tony, Dwight Jackson, Rex Haggerty, Chris Klein, all them guys. I mean, shop time was key. I mean, literally go to each corner of the car. You might spend a half an hour on it, just checking things over, and some nights you just lay underneath the car and look, and then you might find something, or you might think of something. So
yep, that's we hear people say being on the top of your game, and that's the big part of the game is that
absolutely
time you spend on that car off the track.
Yeah,
that's huge.
That wins races.
So, Jeremy, it's I don't consider you an old guy, because that's for sure. Because I know Tim and I aren't old. I don't feel that way. I'm still as young as I feel. But anyway, you mentioned names you grew up watching, and I'm the same way. And we chuckle because we're passionate about this Hall of Fame, and we'll see nominations and stuff, and then we had a couple that are honored tonight, and like the younger guys are going, who is that? And I'm like, that's tough for me, So.
Yeah. I get that. Unfortunately, I've had that. So I mean, I know what you mean.
Well, maybe I am older than I think.
Yeah.
But I read your bio, and I love doing that stuff because it brings back memories, and you start mentioning names you raced with, and it's like, God, to me, it just doesn't seem like it's been that long ago. But it's just funny how the older we get, like Gil Hampel said, life's like a roll of toilet paper.
I never heard it.
The closer to the end, the faster it goes. So
yeah.
I mean, it's true. It's just like, geez, it's been that long ago. But that's the neat part about the Hall of Fame. Getting people recognized that are so deserving. And every year we get more and more nominees, and they're all deserving. And it's and Tim and I talked about it tonight too.
So Jeremy, what does it mean to you to be in the Adams County Speedway Hall of Fame? I always enjoy getting in contact with people because they feel like it's something big, and I feel like it's something big, and I'm just curious about what your feelings are about it.
It's a great honor, and maybe some of the younger generation might not understand it like you and I will, but from what Hampel's did to this place and what it was through the 80s and the 90s and 2000s and stuff, there was a lot of pride to be able to race here and be good. So where I was picked with Brian and Eddie Koziski, I mean, I remember watching Brian Foote from the stands, and that guy was an animal. Eddie Koziski, we could go on forever about his accomplishments. So very fortunate, feel very lucky, and I admire those guys, so it makes me feel good to be voted in on this deal.
Yep. And that's the thing, you mentioned what you said, and then to me, we have our new board up there, and I'm going to let you guys all know as you leave here is after we do the recognition, I want to get everybody to come up here and have a picture taken in front of your year up there. We have it with your year and your names on there. So we are working on the Hall of Fame. Got to get that sucker done, without a doubt. I say all the time, but we've got to get it done. That's just to help honor this stuff, the nostalgia of this place. But that's the thing. That's what I like to talk about when we do this stuff. Is I come in here every day and I look at this place and think about that set of bleachers was like the original, and this was the covered grandstand. And we've done all this with volunteers.
Yes,
that's what's amazing.
Yes.
So that's the key thing. That's the cool part about this.
Absolutely, and to fly under the NASCAR banner, that means something to me too.
I agree with that too. It is. It's what they do for us, and what they have helped us with is on a business side. If people knew that stuff, we could tell them every day. But it's amazing what they do for us.
Yeah, I agree.
Be honored, get a trip to Charlotte, get trips to Daytona. And that's something that nobody else gets around here that I know of.
It says a lot for the place.
Jeremy, I know you have your bio, and everybody needs to pick up a pamphlet and read it. We'll read it at the honoree out here when we induct you guys. But who would you like to personally thank?
As far as that goes, I'd like to thank everybody that's helped me through the years. I've always had a lot of great sponsors, a lot of longtime sponsors. We always had a good crew. I always had a good foundation behind me, and you guys here at the racetrack, I can't thank you enough. What you do, the time you put in, and everything, and it does mean a lot to us racers, past racers, and everything. So, very appreciative of everybody that puts this organization on.
Well, you're a part of the Hall of Fame now, and you always will be. And something else you don't know, but you'll be part of the voting committee delegates now. You'll be a part of that now. So that's the thing you'll be doing every year now. So be prepared for that.
Okay.
So you'll be a part of that now. So it's something that I forget to tell people a lot of times, but I already got you some pamphlets, so that's good. So, Tim, anything else?
Nothing other than just congratulations, and very deserving person on our roster, and just good job.
Of course, to me, the key thing is the 5-star car here. That's the champion car.
Yeah.
But it is, some won't remember as well the late models, and you send a lot of awesome pictures. One I didn't get in there, I'm going to send it personally to him, is Mike Larson. The one you sent with the trophy girl. I don't know if you recognize who that was. That was Mike Larson's daughter, who just recently lost. So I kind of broke me up a little bit. I need to send that to Mike because I thought that was cool as hell. So, but yeah, I mean that's neat. But Kristen, but that was neat. That's Kristen. So yeah, and it's amazing how many pictures we have.
Yeah.
You can't get them all on.
I know. Yeah, sure.
I'd like to ask you, Jeremy. I remember one time going down the backstretch when we was running late models, and you were in front of me, and I think it might have been Mark Wyman or Leon Zeitner. Somebody pulled out in front of you. You were right behind them. They pulled out. You had no time. Somebody was stopped right in the racetrack.
Oh, Paul Glendenning.
Paul Glendenning, and man, you hit him a ton.
Yeah. Yep.
And I was behind you.
Yep. Yeah, that was a trip to South Carolina, and got to know Barry Wright real well that time. So, no, I just congratulations to all the inductees, and thank you guys for everything, and it's a great honor.
Yep, thanks for being a part of the 2025 class, Jeremy, and we'll have the induction out there on the front stretch here after a few heat races. Like to get it cooled down a little bit and get some things going here. So
sure.
With the trucker night, we got a lot of stuff going on. So you could have brought a truck tonight.
I could have done that. Yes.
All right, that's Jeremy Houck, one of our driver inductees of the class of 2025. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll get our next Hall of Fame inductee on right away. Awesome. Thank you, Jeremy. We're going to do like after the stock car. After stock car heat races, we'll go out. He'll announce it.
Let us help insulate your home with Heartland Foam.
No matter what your insulation needs are, Heartland Foam Insulators is your go-to company. From removal to blow-in to foam, they are ready to go to work for you in any type of building, whether it be an existing house, new construction, a metal building, commercial building, or a unique project. Call Heartland Foam Insulators today at 712-623-4515 or heartlandfoam.com.
Since 1892, Malvern Bank has been building community from 404 Main Street in Malvern, Iowa. For generations, Malvern Bank has been serving local businesses, families, and farms to help them achieve their goals in every step of their lives. From saving for college to planning for retirement and everything in between, Malvern Bank is your full-service community bank, here to help as you plan for the next chapter of your life. Call, click, or stop in today to apply for an account, loan, or credit card. Malvern Bank, we build community. Member FDIC.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside Live here at Athens Speedway. Once again, it's Hall of Fame night, class of 2025. We have our next inductee here, the 43 of Brian Foote.
Thank you.
How we doing?
Good.
Congratulations, man. Got Tim here from the Hall of Fame committee. I think you know him.
I actually raced against Tim a long time ago. I told him that. I had a car that I should have never came here. And believe it or not, I hit him in the door going into turn one. He got out and said a few choice words to me, and he doesn't remember it, but I do. And I thought, well, I think I need to maybe fix some things.
Well, Brian, super congratulations to being voted into the Hall of Fame. How did you feel? First, I want to tell the story that his cousin Randy Foote, I know Randy, and I needed Brian's phone number. Well, I just texted Randy. I says, hey, do you got Brian's number? He got back to me, yeah, 43. I told him, no, I need the phone number. But no, how did you feel when we contacted you and let you know?
I was down putting a HVAC system in for a granddaughter, and at first the number, I was like, I had no idea. Answered it, and when you let me know that, I was ecstatic. I told my wife, because she was there, I says, my God, I says, I can't. This is very thrilling. It was. It meant a lot. It meant a lot to, we raced here and everything, and then you never know how people take you sometimes, and it had a real warm feeling to it.
Well, good.
You were here the heart of the heyday. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I mean, we've all been here forever and watched this place grow, but that era of late 90s into 2000, that's, our big crowds now that was a slim crowd back in the day, and we were running B features and stuff like that. It's just amazing what you guys had to go through to race. The competition.
Now that you say that, because I was working at Green Plains, and yes, I couldn't get here. There was a few times that I would miss the heat race by the time I got off work, and I would have to work to try to just make the A, because you're guaranteed there's going to be a B feature, and you'd have to try to get through that to make the A. And when you did look up what you said, the late 90s, the 2000s, these stands were packed. And that was, to look up and see all those people, that was thrilling. It really was. I mean, to go out and drive and anybody, when you pull on the track, you want to do your best. But that just gives you even more edge in front of that many spectators.
I don't know if you had a chance to. We have a new board up there for our Hall of Fame. It lists all the classes, since 614, whatever. But what's neat to go up there and look at those names, and people you probably watch race, people you've raced with, But that's what I liked hearing you say when Tim asked the question. To feel honored, because to me, I meant it. Why, I don't know, but anyway. But it's an awesome honor. I agree. To be a part of this place, period. Because like I told Jeremy, Tim and I grew up with this little stand and the covered grandstand and what we've done to this place, and I'm kind of off subject here, but Tim has a picture, I think, of you and was it you that drew it or Wichman drew it together?
Oh,
what you envisioned this place was going to be like. And it's very similar to what it looks like right now. It's kind of funny. Yeah. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I did that.
But it's your era that's what made this place what it is. I mean, that heyday stuff brought in the funds, because everything we make goes into this place, but you're a part of this. That's all you got to do. It's just you're part of the Hall of Fame now, but you guys got to know that you guys helped build this. I mean, that's the way I look at it. It's like that's the cool part about this place.
Like I said, it's thrilling to be part of that, and I can't say enough for you guys, the people out that volunteer, that show up every week, that they love this sport so much. For this track they built it. You people have built it. We've been here. We come because it's a great facility. The Hempels kind of really started this thing off, and you guys have just kept this thing going. It's a top-notch facility.
So, Brian, what got you into racing? What was your, how old were you? What were you, some of the people you looked up to?
Well, believe it or not, my older brother, Terry, I can remember going, and the car was built like in a chicken coop. And back then, there was no bought-in parts. You made everything. But I believe it was like a 57 Chevy, and he's putting this thing together and everything. And of course, there's just something about a garage and the smell of weld and fuel and that, and then to watch him race. And Terry ended up with 2 track championships here, and I mean, it was thrilling. But Terry is where we actually got started, and my older brother Larry, he had a modified. He allowed me to drive it, and then that really got me going. But it was Terry that if Terry would have never raced, I don't know if we would have done it.
I want to tell really a quick Terry story, which before I say that, I see we've got people out here. We're kind of like at the big tracks, friends of yours. But I was racing Terry one time. It was a pretty good sized modified show down here, and I was out front and he was running second. And we'd go down into turn 1, and he would run into the back of me every lap. I went around, and I've talked to Terry about this. I went around, I won the race. And we pulled down in the claim area, and I got out of the car, and I walked back. I wasn't mad or anything. I go back there, and I says, Terry, why did you keep running into me? And all he did was just smile. But he's a good racer, a really good guy. So number 43, what's kind of behind that?
Believe it or not, I got started with Al Thornburg, and we brought a car over here, and it had a number 3 on it. And I think Donnie McClellan was already number 3. There was already a number 3. And we pulled up, and a woman that I love to death, Nancy Robart, that woman scared the death out of me. I ain't kidding you. I was scared to just, she had that bright red hair. She was a spark plug. And she's scared. But anyway, she says, we have a 3. And I'm like, well, we've got enough room, and duct tape a 4 would be quite easy. Can we be 43? And she said, yes. So that's where the 43 came from, and we've ran that ever since.
So you won a big race up to Harlan in the afternoon. It was a Tiny Lund deal.
Yep.
And that paid like $10,000 to win. What was that like?
That was thrilling. That was to win it, $10,000. And now the story.
Back in 2000.
That was back in 2000. Now here's the story. The whole thing behind this, we got 40 laps we got to run. We got a motor that has holes in the cylinder wall. And so before we could even run a race, we would jack the car up. We took the drain plug out. We would let the water out of the oil. As soon as the oil come, we'd put the plug back in, and we would pull the plug and we'd discharge the water out of that cylinder. Now we're running for $10,000, and this is what's in the car. But anyway,
please claim me.
That thing. Well, it was a mandatory claim.
Oh, okay.
It was a mandatory claim. But anyway, that thing ran perfect for that entire race. And but it's all the memories that go back with that stuff. That it just those are with you forever. Yeah. And that's the thing with all these racers out here. There's so many memories of having to work all night to get that car ready to go, to come back because you love racing so much to do this.
Yep.
And it's, like I said, it's for the people that love racing, they're here.
You know, Tim already pointed out here, you have a big group out here. And going to all this is, we grew up here from a fan since I can remember. But I've been here 39 years working, doing something. But I say it all the time is we're all a big family. And I worked with Marcia Scalberg for a brief time. And Marcia was such a great lady. And she said what was great about racing was this something we could do as a family, and we were all together all the time doing it.
Oh.
Everybody was, that's what she loved about it.
Well, now that you bring up, that part, yes. It was a total family deal because the cars were originally, when we worked on them, it involved my parents, Larry's car, and some of mine were at their shop, and my dad was involved, and my mom she loved to watch the races. When they could, they never missed a race. And then all the other people that's involved with you, for like me, I had George Curry. He started coming by the shop.
Already seen him.
He's
here.
super guy. George was with me the whole time. The Harts, Dave, Kathy, Jenna, they've been with so many years that from the get-go, I had Gary York helping me, Rick Malott. Rick come in the later part of it. And I had Laurel Ridner. And Laurel was my main. You needed a transmission. This is back when you didn't buy a lot of this stuff. You had to find it out of a salvage yard. He come up with this stuff. He would just here. And so we'd have a 3-speed Saginaw. We had something we could put in because we broke ours, and like I said, it took all of us, and it took all of them to do it. And I know all these racers out here, I know it's the same way.
I know. It also brings up, Tim goes, well, we leave the name at the front gate. I said, yeah, and they just tell them, you're in with that group, and well, I think Brian's going to have like 60 people. I said, that's flipping awesome. I hope he does. That's great. So I hope they all showed up too.
There's a big group coming.
All about family, man.
A lot of family. I got friends that were, excited, and they were ecstatic when I told them that we were in the Hall of Fame, and so
it shows our young ones out there that join this racing now. What started this place and what they have to look forward to as far as I'm concerned. So, we're still going strong here, and it's all because of you guys. And it's just Tim. Anything else?
Just congratulations on getting in. It always is fun for me to contact people once we know who's in. Cliff will take. It always seems like he'll know some numbers and some people to get a hold of, and I'll know some numbers and people to get a hold of, and somehow we make it happen. It would be really fun to do sometime if we could do it a live video. Actually, we did have a little bit of audience this time.
We did.
Tony Hardesty was there.
Shop, and there's people there.
Tony Hardy was there.
And I got to say one big shout out. My wife has put up with more stuff for 20 some years of that, and she was my biggest supporter, and sometimes the ride home, which Tim, well, you maybe didn't have that long a ride home, but when things went bad, it was really quiet on the ride home, and then when it was a great night, everybody's just carrying on, but she was telling me, she said, we used to snicker on those nights because it was, there was going to be no talking on the way home.
I understand that. That's for sure. It's like, Yeah, it's going to be a short night or it's going to be a long night this week.
But
yeah.
the only thing I want to say is I can't, and I've said a little bit there, I can't say enough for you guys and for the people that show up every week and make this happen.
Yep.
Without that, it wouldn't matter how many drivers show up. Without you guys making this facility to what it is, that's the true testament, and that's what brings the cars here.
Well,
so
yep,
I mean, like I said, it's a facility to be so proud of.
It's a community thing. Like I said, everything we make goes into it, so it's everybody's involved, and that's where I look at it. So we're not no private deal. And anybody else you can think of mentioning before we let you off?
One big sponsor, Mickey Anderson, Metal Chrysler. He was always with me, and Rick Malott, Trey Tay, they were always, and of course the Hart Farms, they were big. I had, over the years I had numerous ones, but those were the main ones. George Curry, he always rode on the front hood there with a pair of golf clubs crossed with checkered flags on them. That was his signature. And I can't, my son Daniel, my only thing, I wish Daniel could have raced a little more because he was really coming on hard in a short time. And
you can see his improvement, that's for sure.
Yeah, because there was some races where I was driving as hard as I could in the A feature, and I couldn't stay with him. So
quick question: the desire to get in a car again? we always got to ask you guys that.
If, believe it or not, and trust me, I have been on Marketplace. I have looked at B mods because I like the fact that the B mod, the horsepower of what they're rated, it's all in the car. It's all in the car, and I'm not saying that the others aren't. Don't get me wrong, but for cost and everything else, because every jump up, we all know the price really goes up, and nobody wants to show up and run last. So, but the B mod is very tempting.
Well, there's another Hall of Famer out there that has the same feelings that I can tell you that he's always looking.
So
I won't mention any names, but Ron Gay is the one to talk about. he says he's always looking.
Oh, so. Ronnie, I loved racing with Ronnie. He was super.
And he'll be here.
Guy.
He's always here every week.
Yeah.
Too, but he talks about it a lot too. And but like you said, it's the car. Yeah, but I'll tell you like I told Jeremy. I said, you're lying if you say you're not interested. Nobody gets it out of their system. I'm sorry, but every guy if I'm selling 50, I say, oh hey, so how you doing? And it's hard to come and watch. It's hard to come and watch.
Yeah. Well, the question come up: how much do you come over and watch? And it's like, you can't throw a piece of meat in front of a tiger, and it's just the temptation is so hard not to do it. And usually when I go home, here I am. I'm in a Marketplace. I'm looking at used B mods, and
you did it. You stopped for a while and came back.
I did. So. I did. I stopped for 2 years because I had some house repairs I had to do, and it's just like there isn't time and that's something about racing. If you want to run up front, that car requires. It doesn't happen by accident. It really doesn't. Tim, you know.
The time factor, like when talking with Jeremy, the time factor is part of it. I don't think a lot of the fans realize what it takes. It takes money, but you can't go anywhere with just money.
No. If that car's not right when it shows up, you can drive so hard and go nowhere. And then when that car's right, it's so easy. It's like, I can't believe, you're just like, you're on cruise control out there because the car's doing everything else. You're along for the ride.
Yep.
Brian, appreciate you very much being on here, and congratulations again.
Thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it.
We'll announce on the radio. We'll like after the stock car heats, I think we'll go out and do the inductee stuff. So I'll get with you all there. I'll meet you all down there. But
okay,
get all your group down there. So,
Yeah.
get your mob down there. We're gonna have
And Cliff, did we mention the Southwest Cruisers are the escort cars?
Sorry, yeah.
Tonight.
Yep. Our local car club, the Southwest Cruisers, we have several of them out here. They'll be out there escorting you guys out there. So, yeah, we'll get you out there to do that. So get them out there. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Great job, Brian.
We'll see you out there, and we're going to take another break, and we'll be right back here with our next Hall of Fame guest on Pitside Live. Off job.
Furniture, appliances, mattress sets, lift chairs, bedding, recliners, and more. S&S Appliance, your hometown furniture store in Clarinda, just received a large shipment of appliances. They have a huge selection of stoves, refrigerators, chest freezers, and microwaves. And if you need a mattress set, they have them. Plus bamboo sheet sets. They offer full service from start to finish with competitive price guarantee. S&S Appliance also offers delivery and installation. Stop by S&S Appliance on the square in downtown Clarinda.
This is Josh with Shore Motor Company in Clarinda. We want to be your GM dealer. We have highly qualified and trained technicians ready to work on your vehicle. Anything from recalls to warranty work and beyond, we are your GM dealer. Our service department is open 6 days a week for all your service needs. We even have an express lane for those no-appointment quick oil changes. Visit our website at shoremotor.com to request an appointment or give Mike or Amanda a call at 712-542-6581. We are your GM dealer. Shore Motor Company, just south of the square in beautiful Clarinda.
Just as your local State Farm agent teams combine good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates, you can combine your home and auto. And guess what you get? That's right, good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. This is your local State Farm agent, Dave Carball, and we promise to deliver the service you deserve at the price you want. My State Farm team will help you mix and match things perfectly. Call us today at 712-623-5639 for your surprisingly great rates. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Best Finish Auto Sales and Service is proud of the quality used vehicles they sell and their dedication to serve the needs of their customers. Whether it's your first purchase or one of many that you've had, you can count on their dedicated sales staff to make the best buying experience possible. They also offer financing on your vehicle purchase. Best Finish can also take care of your service needs, from oil change, brakes, alignment, air conditioning, to any body shop and repair needs. Stop by Best Finish Auto Sales and Service at 209 Sharp Street in Glenwood for all of your vehicle needs.
Welcome back to Pitside Live here down County Speedway. We are back here for Hall of Fame night and Trucker night, but our main priority right now is our Hall of Fame with our next inductee, Jerry Adams. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, sir.
Very much honored to have you here.
Yeah.
Jerry, long time contributor as a photographer here. Long time.
I worked here. Was hired by Bill Bemis back in 1980, and I stayed here pretty much till 2000, and that's a long time.
Yes, it is. You could always see Jerry out there taking pictures. Then you got to where you were selling photos, and you sold buttons.
And for a while I sold the yo-yos, but the company stopped making the parts, so I couldn't get them anymore. So I gave John Hampel one at the awards banquet that year when I first started making them, and after happy hour he was back there playing it and bouncing it off all the tables and everything and broke it, and I didn't sell him anymore.
So they the key thing is you're such a huge part of this because you are a main part of saving history here with your photos. I mean, it is so important especially back then to have a photographer, because now you've got instantaneous everything with that thing in your hand, but back then, I mean, that's what's awesome is you get on Facebook and pulling up all the stuff you're a part of with the nostalgia, looking at those cars, and I love it when you pop something on there and everybody's like, who is that? Who is that? I can't remember, that's the awesome part of it.
Might be Tim Cooney.
That's right.
There's been some old pictures of that guy.
And he's had a lot of different numbers too, so that's the neat part of people. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. I love it when they guess wrong.
Yeah, the oldest one I got of him is an old metallic blue Camaro with 42 spray painted on the side of it back in the old $600 street stock days, and I think that's the oldest one I got.
Yeah, no, that's great. You chronicled the history down here. It's awesome. Is everything digitized that you have, or do you still have a lot of stuff in what are they called, negatives, that kind of stuff?
I've got a monster pile of pictures in the basement and Rubbermaids, and I don't have a scanner, so I got to take the pictures out and take pictures of them so I can post them. And it's fun, to get in there.
Yep.
So, because I'm a throwback. I remember like no guardrail in the infield, and Larry Hyatt hit the ambulance that night. Or, crazy Chris Raymeyer and that Impala that he rolled over off of turn 2, and it rolled back up on his wheels, and then he came out and won the heat race.
Were you here? No doubt you were here. For the Enduro, that first Enduro they had.
No, I didn't come for the Enduro.
Come for that Enduro. No. Well, they tore some stuff up that time.
Well, I'm sure. I've been to a few, and they're.
But your name always comes up when we talk about the Hall of Fame itself.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be an enormous part of that.
Yep.
Because you have the pictures, that we can put into loops or whatever.
We're going to have to rely on you a lot.
Yeah.
For sure. Get our stuff together and get this done because it's needed.
Well, I tried to get at least one of just about everybody that came in when I was here, you know, and the Busch races and like the Have a Tampa night and things like that. I tried to get at least one picture of everybody that came in here, and
that would be a lot.
It is.
Now I've seen pictures of the fall jamboree that it rained and we ran in the afternoon.
Rained a lot.
Ran in the afternoon. Those are really cool pictures.
Yeah, and I did those with a little 110 camera. That like when I first came over here, it was I'd been coming over here all the time, but my brother used to come with me, and we'd come together. And I don't remember why, but he wasn't able to come one night, and it was a big deal. We used to call them specials. And like Don Hoffman was here, Al Herhammer, all them, and he wasn't going to get to see him. So I got this little 110 camera and started taking pictures around the place. And then the next year I got a little better camera, and that's when Bill saw me down there and saw that I was pretty much the only person with a camera in the place. And so he asked me at work the next day if I'd be willing to take the job. And I said, sure. Because the racing wasn't doing that well. So.
And unfortunately, we just lost Bill.
So how did you feel when Cliff got a hold of you to let you know you were a member of the Hall of Fame?
I was a little bit shocked, but I was excited because I've been here my whole life basically, and then my dad raced when I was a kid, and we went to various tracks, but I always ended up back over here. So
and your category is called contributor, and that is the exact perfect way of saying it, is you are a huge contributor to this place.
And as Cliff mentioned to Jeremy or Brian, I don't remember which, you're now a voting member for Hall of Fame people.
Yep. So
everybody can nominate. We don't always get the word out the best, but anybody can be nominated. But the voting is select people.
Yep.
when there are so many out there.
Yes, it is, without a doubt. So many deserving. It's just, and like I said, you've got it there. You've got the history right there in booklets and, like you said, tubs. And it's like, I could sit there and put weeks in looking at stuff. I guarantee I could, because it would be awesome to look at.
A lot of guys like to see pictures of them when they're starting, and I know there was Jeremy and Tim Taylor have things going back and forth when I put them in there. And, it's just...
Yep, they do. And it's just, like Dave Weed and his wife, she had a scrapbook, and she had it professionally done. That was totally awesome. Speakers have they have a scrapbook, Charlie. I have that too. I mean, that's the stuff I've been collecting, because that's the stuff that you got to have that history for the Hall of Fame. So that is stuff. And Marcia Skalberg, she had some awesome pictures back in the day when I worked with her, and that's just you can't look at enough of that stuff. That's you got it preserved for us. That's huge. So
and Terry had the nicest car in the place.
Yeah,
I don't care. It was that red and white Hal car was just that was a beautiful car.
Absolutely. And working with Marcia briefly there, that was some fun times. We talked racing quite a bit, but it was and she started bringing out albums to me to work, and got sidetracked several times. Like that stuff. It was pretty easy when you can look at all those photos.
Yes, it is.
So it's like, man. And I do appreciate it so much when you get that stuff online so people can see it, because that's the cool part of it, trying to figure out, all right, doggone it, who is that? I know who that is. Like trying to think of names sometimes.
Well, doggone it, there's several of them that I don't know who it is. But I think maybe if I can sneak it on there in the reply, there might be a name, and it'll jog my memory.
Between Tim and Jim Witchman, they're usually pretty good at it.
Jimmy Witchman is just awesome with the names. He's always been a person about the personalities. I've always been a person about the cars.
Yeah.
So.
And when I've still got a few of the old Hawkeye Racing News pictures and stuff that I took out, and that was part of the deal, was get the stuff in the paper. And it took me quite a while to learn to spell Wansowitz and Schluter without, and then they threw Hobscheit at me, and that just really threw things off.
I don't mean to interrupt real quick, but you're listening to KCSI Radio FM 95.3 out of Red Oak and Villisca, and KOAK Radio 1080 AM out of Corning and Elliott.
Yep.
So do you get to the track very often, Jerry?
Well, I usually try and make it for the Malvern Bank races and the sprint car race, and usually at least one, maybe two weekly races. When you get down to the Pumpkin Dash, the photographic image thing is because it starts to get dark really early.
Yep.
So that's a little difficult.
Yep.
But
that's we don't like racing that late either.
Well, and I'm a little disappointed that it got rained out last week, because doggone it, I want to watch. I want to watch Crown Vics.
I know. We talked about having a night, but we got such an action-packed night. It was like, gosh, I don't know if we can add that to it.
By the looks of the rules and everything, they remind me an awful lot of those old $600 street stocks.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the class. It's great for people.
He's a big part of it right there, man.
I was a pusher.
He was a big pusher of it. So we appreciate it a lot, because I think it's something we have to have. I mean, you got to have something like that going again.
Yeah.
So. Just like Brian, everybody telling stories. We didn't have these part stores. It was a dang junkyard. I mean, you went to your local scrapyard to get a lot of dang stuff you needed to race with back in the day. It's just
I bought our first street stock when they started that $600 class from a woman. It was a 67 Camaro, and she'd rolled it in the ditch, but it had the immaculate rollover where it got all four corners and not the top.
Yeah.
And I bought it for $50.
Yeah. You'd buy it for $50 again today, wouldn't you?
In a minute.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Jerry. Is there anybody you want to thank? I know Bill Bemis is a big part of your starting here, but it's you've been a big part of this place, and we can't thank you enough.
Well, I want to thank the fair board members, Sam Armstrong and Sam Heaton, and all the people who were excited enough about my stuff to come and look at it and maybe want to take some of it home. And Of course, you guys and it's kept it going.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's all history, and that's what we have to keep this thing going for sure. So what we'll do is we're gonna have some heat races, and then we'll get you out on the track. So
all right,
you're gonna be in the pits.
I'm gonna be heading for the pits.
You're gonna be in there.
This is over.
We'll just have you drive down because I know walking in the pits isn't very easy either. So he's already gonna be in there.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, that'll be finer than frog hair.
Yes.
Okay, great.
All right, Jerry.
Just congratulations, man.
Well, thank you, and thanks for people for voting for me, and I could not be more humble.
So, yeah, you're so deserving. Everybody, the honest thing is, but I've always voted. I've been voting for you for several years because you're a big contributor. So, you're a big part of this place, and
plan on keeping it up and as long as I can.
Absolutely. All right, folks, that was Jerry Adams, contributor here in the Hall of Fame. Longtime photographer here at Adams County Speedway. We're going to take another break, and hopefully one of our next, I've got a call in. He's coming here, hopefully, to be our next guest for Hall of Fame night. We'll be right back with you. All right.
Okay.
What if we could harness the power of the sun by using the earth to transform the way we use energy? Water furnace geothermal systems are simply the most efficient way to keep your family comfortable. Winter or summer, day or night, rain or shine, without burning fossil fuels. Giving you the freedom to focus on life.
Call Camlin Mechanical or visit CamlinMechanical.com for your water furnace needs today.
Are you interested in starting a career instead of just getting another job? Well, hop on over to Fresco System USA and let us help you find the one for you. We offer competitive wages, benefits starting day one, and so much more. You can pick up an application at 2026 Fernwood Avenue, find us on Indeed, Better Team, and Facebook, or call 712-623-8100, extension 6659. Spring into action and join the Fresco team today.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside Live here at Adams County Speedway in Corning, Iowa. We're heading down to the checkered flag here tonight, so Tim had to leave us because Tim's going to go racing. So Tim's here tonight. He's actually going to do a little racing. So quick mention is we still have 3 more Hall of Famers we haven't recognized here live. I think Randy's going to be coming here shortly, Randy Perrin. Bert Beckham, if you can hear us, hope he's going to make it this way. Tim just tried to call him. I guess I didn't get the word to him. We didn't get the word quick enough to tell him that we were going to be on a radio show. But our other inductee is a driver, Ed Koziski. It will be just like we did with his brothers. We'll be doing that in 2 weeks on SLMR night because SLMR is the Koziski family. So that way their entire family can be here and be a part of the honor. So it was awesome last year because we got to bring the 2X car here. So I don't know if they're having surprises for us this year, but Eddie will be able to join us in 2 weeks along with all the rest of the Koziski family for our 100-dog race and the Hample Memorial night for SLMR. That's going to be a tremendous night. Hopefully before we sign off tonight, we'll do a little more mentioning about that because that is turning out to be a big deal. So that's going to be a cool night.
A couple things that are happening tonight, race fans, as you make your way over here to the racetrack. Kind of what we're going to be doing. It's going to be kind of improvisation as we go, but when you get here, you're going to see some hot laps at normal time, and then about 7 o'clock-ish, we'll start with opening ceremonies. We're going to run 3 classes of heat races. So I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me open it up really quick. We're going to run our hobby stock heat races first, then our sport mod heat races, and then our stock car heat races. And then after the stock car heat races, we are going to do our Hall of Fame inductions. So that gives time for those people to get here that need to get here. After the Hall of Fame, we're going to run our compact heat races, A-mod heat races. Then we're going to run our hobby stock feature. So our hobby stock feature is going to be first, right after A-Mod heat races. And then after the hobby feature, then we are going to do our Salute to Trucking convoy on the racetrack. So
gives you plenty of time to be here.
We're going to run one feature before the truckers. So if you are planning on showing up late or anything like that, make sure you get here in plenty of time so you can see the Hall of Fame inductees. You can see a feature because the hobby feature will more than likely be before the sun goes down. So that'll be first, and then the truckers, and then we're going to finish tonight with Sport Mod feature, stock car feature, compact feature, and modified feature at the end. So,
and the reason we're doing this is we're trying to get things set up for track prep and timing with the heat, timing with the sun going down. The truckers, it's just a lot neater, folks, when it's a little darker, because a lot of those guys that have underglow, it's just so much neater if you can see it when it's a little darker like that. So obviously our lights are nice and bright, but still.
Truckers, if you are making your way over here too and you are listening to us on the radio, when you come in, make sure you come into the south side parking lot. That parking lot is open for truckers only tonight. Race fans, if you are making your way over here and you are in a regular vehicle, you're going to have to park on either the north end, or you're going to have to park on the outside of the grounds here along John Street, or across in that grass lot we have, or find a different spot there as well, or street parking. So the south lot is not open tonight for regular parking. It is only for truckers. So south lot will be closed. It's kind of like south lot is closed for late models, but tonight it's closed for truckers.
Well, as you're going to see here, we're going to have a guy walk right in front of the camera here for us, but we've got our next Hall of Fame.
Come on over here, Randy.
Come on over
We're
here.
ready for you. He's got his ice cream. He's ready to go.
I called his daughter and surprised her and said, "Hey, get your dad here." I forgot to mention he'd be on the radio show. So,
so that's kind of what's going to be going on tonight. Again, we're going to be ad-libbing. Some things might change. We'll see how the time goes and see what the weather goes. Obviously, with track prep, when it gets hot like this, it's hard to keep up with the racetrack and make sure that the racers have the best race condition we can. So we're going to shift gears once again here and go with our next Hall of Fame inductee.
All right. As we've been talking all night, it's Hall of Fame night here at Adams County Speedway, and we have our next contributor inductee, and that is Randy Perrin. I know that's not your real name, but
Dallas. On a good day.
I always remember I saw that offense. I'm like, who the heck is that? I'm like, okay.
Down here, you're very seldom called that.
That's right, exactly right. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
You're not even called Randy sometimes.
No.
You've probably been called some names down here.
Oh, we all have.
Never been swung at or anything.
No. But, congratulations, Randy. Well deserved. I say it all the time. There's so many deserving people, and you're by far one of them. And thank you very much for joining us and being a part of the Hall of Fame.
It's been a big part of my life for a long time.
Yep. So, like I told earlier, is I grew up here. As a kid watching, and I've been doing this for 39 years, and it's amazing to think it's been that long. And you've been a huge part of it, because I've been saying it all night. This place is because of people like you and
volunteers.
It's all volunteers. Yep.
I'm sure Lawrence is looking back down on you right now, being like, "About time."
Yeah, exactly right. Absolutely correct. So I chuckle at that thing, and I'm the old guy. I feel like I'm the Lawrence Peterson around here anymore. It's like, that's horrible. Not that old, but
I was just out riding around the pits looking for people I knew. All them people I knew have got old.
What happened? I don't know. That's exactly right. And Jerry here, that was awesome to get Jerry here. So, him talking about how Bill Bemis hired him, and I talk about Bill as I'm the one that took over Bill Bemis's job.
Yeah.
So he was on the track, and then I raised my hand, and Larry said, sure. And I'm like, he said, hey, you can come and help. And I'm like, boy, that was a long time ago. But anyway, you've been doing this a long time. We've got your bio, but you can't say that here. We'll read it to you out there. But how did you get started here? Obviously coming.
Actually, my first to do with race cars was Ralph Hickman and Jack Dix. Built a race car down in Brooks way back when I was riding bicycles. And of course, Dad started bringing me down here when I was pretty young.
And it's the same start for most people. Because it's for me. I had Cecil McEwen building a race coupe right there in Ottawa, and I go down there, and he would give you a ride down the gravel road. And
I
I'm
was
like,
I was born into it. So
Then I went to work for Donnie Willett. And of course, that was racing then.
Another Hall of Famer we have here. Yep.
Remember in the early days, we'd come down here, a bunch of us, and we'd camp out down here and water the track all night long and party. We can't say we partied down here.
Yeah.
There been a lot of beer drank down here.
There's some refreshments of some kind down here, but you've been a big part of it because I've been here when you were here. It's your wife Virginia has done so much for us here too, without a doubt. Like I say already tonight 100 times, it's all a big family affair. Your daughters are a big part of this place still. So Angie is the one that helps us immensely with our souvenir trailer. If people don't know that, but you've got a grandson racing. So
I was hoping he'd be here tonight.
So I mean that's the thing. It's just, but that's all the old family circle. It just keeps going, and that's what keeps this place going. So, any stories you can think of?
A lot of them
that you can tell.
How many different hats have you done down here, Randy? What's all the stuff you've done down here?
I've been as far away as a Minnesota line and stopped to talk to somebody, and they'd say, "You look familiar. Are you around a racetrack, Annie?" And I say, "Did I do something you didn't like?" You always have to ask them why they remember you. But most of the time, it's good.
Well, the thing, in your bio, it's in there too, but one of the big things that you was good at, another guy who was good at too was Bert and finding things, but you were great at finding things we needed around here at a decent price. One of them was that lawnmower, that New Holland. We just retired.
No, the first one was an orange one.
Right.
Yeah.
But
the blue one we just retired.
It just got retired because it's too much to fix it. She finally blew up on us.
The old injectors on it.
It's gone. So anyway, but that's the thing. You were able to do that stuff. I know you were a big part of the flagpole. Yeah. I know you're a big part of that during that time too, getting that set up, and that's in honor of Harry Wichman, who did that. So, you've gone through all the changes more than I have too. So it's just. But it's a neat thing, you were such a big part of this place, and it's so deserving to be on this Hall of Fame. So, anything else you want to add? Anybody you want to thank?
All the volunteers that have helped down here, because without the volunteers, this place wouldn't exist.
Yep.
And I give the Hamples a lot of credit.
Oh, yeah.
They did a lot.
Yep.
I mean, everything you see here, Randy, when you walk down here and you see all this metal and all this wood and everything that's been built here, it was done by volunteers.
And the Hampel family. Because you go do it again, we couldn't do it. Because you couldn't have got it done any cheaper than we did with Gail hiring John as his son, John has his own company, but back then he didn't. And, they went and bought that old boom truck, just for this purpose of putting this stuff in. I was down there watching them as they were welding up these I-beams and everything, doing all that sub stuff down there and hauling that stuff up here and hiring Westside Construction to do some things and people from their construction. But, I mean, there was no way there's no way we could do it now. There's the way we were able to do it back then with the labor we had and as cheaply as it was done. I mean, seriously.
Really?
But that was all a part of Gail Hampel, without a doubt, being able to do that. And Hampel family is a huge part of this. So, I mean, that's the thing. So, I know over the years, you'll know this too, people were frustrated because we were the fair board and, Hampel's getting all this credit. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but they deserve it. They did all this.
They did a lot of work down
there. What the heck?
Here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to follow in their footsteps.
No. I mean, I think when Gail came in, it was operating in the red. That was right before my time, but I understood that we were operating in the red technically back then. And
was that
we were in the red?
80s?
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, yeah, that would have been 80s.
Mid-80s?
82, 83.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That was like almost 20 years before I was born.
I think it was 82 when Gail come to me and wanted me to run the north gate.
Yeah. I think. So, and he was the one that got NASCAR in here too. So, I mean, it's just
in the early days. I don't know that you remember Bob Drake.
Oh yeah,
and I
run
push trucks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We were the safety crew.
Yep.
They gave us a fire extinguisher.
Yep. Yeah. Kind of comical now to think of what we had.
What's some other things you've done down here, Randy, besides being a safety guy?
Well, I've been the modified tech guy.
Yep.
Worked at the gate. A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Did a little in the infield. Did a little bit of what I do out here now. It's like overseer.
You're like a Swiss Army knife.
I mean, something, you know.
When you're down here, you're just whatever.
Yeah. It's kind of like what Ron does now. I mean, Ron's on his gator, so he's our gopher. You know, hey, can you do this? Because everybody's in their position, and we don't have anybody to do that stuff. So that's the key thing about that stuff. So,
and Ron's still doing it too.
Yeah, I'm glad to have Ron here.
I'll tell you what
Ron went through, I'm happy he's still here.
I don't know what he'd do if he didn't have this racetrack. He'd be bored.
Well, yeah, that's true. You know, that's a lot of us. If we didn't come down here on Saturday nights, what would we do?
Exactly right.
Some of us remember coming down here on Sunday afternoons.
Yes.
Yep.
Racing on Sundays, absolutely.
I remember in early days coming down here when I think it was Fat Law.
Yep.
Stand out there and they'd run over him.
Yep.
The guys
flag on the track.
The guys would sit out there drinking beer and be drunk before they went out to race.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a long time ago.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So times have gotten better, but there's still
the good old days. That's what you got to say for
memories.
Sure. Absolutely.
You can't take the memories from us.
No, you can't. And that's the thing. We can talk all night on it too. But Randy, congratulations. I'm glad you got here. And you got a hold of you. I didn't realize that I didn't mention to everybody get here for the radio show because we just finally got Bert to show up too. So I got to get Bert on here.
We was up to the ice cream shop.
Yeah, I see that. You didn't even bring us any. Doggone it.
Well, up to the gate, he wanted me to bring him some too, but I was afraid it'd melt. So.
Yeah, it's not good conditions today, but awesome. You know, thank you very much for showing up and being a part of this, and congratulations for being part of the 2025 Hall of Fame. So,
all right, we're gonna stay live here.
Yep, we're gonna stay live and get Bert on here.
Yep.
Come on up, Bert.
And so we got one more Hall of Fame to talk to tonight. Once again, Ed Koziski will not be on tonight. He'll be here during the late model night here at the end of June. So we're going to get Bert mic'd up here, and we're going to talk to Bert Peckham here.
Welcome, Bert.
Thank you.
All right, you can hear us all right?
Yep.
Bert Peckham's our fan on the 2025 class of our Hall of Fame here at Adams County Speedway, and thanks for joining us.
You betcha. Thanks for having me.
You got your car here, or did you bring it down tonight?
No, I didn't bring it down tonight. Family's all here, and it's that's up my hands full.
Yep, goes. So for those who don't know, Bert's a big part of the Southwest Cruisers, our local car club here, and they're a part of our show tonight as they will escort our Hall of Famers in there during our break for that induction. So we thank them very much. There's 4 or 5 cars out there right now, I think. So.
Yeah.
Gary Nissen's got a couple of cars here, I think, and so what'd you think when you got the phone call?
I was shocked, appreciated, and shocked.
So you've been here forever.
Seems like it.
You know, I mean, you've come here since I've known, and you've had a grandson race.
Yeah.
So
raced about everything.
Yeah, exactly right. You guys, you and your sons were a huge part of the Derby down Davis, getting that going again. I mean, I remember that well because they had us come up and help run it for the doing the brackets and all that stuff. And Larry and Nancy were all right there doing that. And that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the heck out of that. So and then they got us doing over Prescott a little bit. I'm like, wow, this is kind of getting us big. So, but that was a neat deal.
Kind of got some guys started.
It did, absolutely. And then your grandson go-karted.
Yep.
And that's how a lot of people started.
Yeah, that's right.
So
you look back, the Jackson, Dwight Jackson's boy.
Trent.
Dean Goldsmith.
Bryant.
There was a bunch of them.
The Cooper boys.
Because
Lisa had the track. Until we had ours, but Lisa had the track. So that's the thing.
Them were the good days, good fun.
It was very much so, and we've talked about it before, but doing a go-kart track again, but it's all about manpower because we all do this, and it's like, okay, we're doing this, so who's going to do the go-kart? Because we can't do 2 things.
I don't know how you get it all done the way you do anyway.
It's tough. It's tough. So.
And it takes a lot of time to promote the go-karts and then the manpower to run the track. And they had a good track in Prescott. They had a good track in Messina.
Yeah, yes, they did. And I've been to all of them. They were. Wyoda had a good track.
Wyoda had a good track.
Yep.
But it was.
It's a neat deal. I mean, that's what I loved at Prescott. It was nighttime. So that was what was neat. So Friday night. What was that? Thunder Valley Speedway, wasn't it? Thunder Valley?
Something like that.
That's before my time.
I know it was. So Lisa had a neat deal over there. We got her blueprints. I was thinking about we could fit that right down there inside the track again if we could get it done. But it's all manpower.
That's hard to get it inside the track though, and make it work. And
it's a little wet down there sometimes.
That's right. And then you don't want to park on it. You take up that space from your regular cars on Saturday nights.
Absolutely. So I'll tell you what. Anybody you want to thank?
Well, you guys, for the way you put this show on every Saturday night. I know it takes a lot of effort, not just Saturday night, but during the week, during the year. Yeah. It takes a lot of effort on you guys, and you need to be commended. So.
Yeah, it's I've been here a while, and you go through a lot of fair boards, but it's neat that we can have a group like this stay together and keep doing it. So
it sure is.
When did you first start watching down here, Bert? How many years ago was it?
Well, I can remember when they run Model Ts during the fair once.
What year was that?
It had to be in the late 30s or early 40s.
Wow.
They would bring the family to town, the wife and kids would get out, and they put the car on the track, and I think there was only 2 or 3 the last race.
That was back when we had covered grandstands, right?
This right here was a covered grandstand. Yeah. Now, there's a good picture out there of the 40s overhead that you can see all the trees. And I can tell it's 40 because the cars that are in the parking lot. They're all coupes there, but that's a neat picture. And there's also the one that's up in the building of the front stretch.
Wasn't there trees in the infield too?
Yeah, but there was but the covered grandstand photo that's uptown, I think it's in the Lovestead building. I think it's in one of the buildings up there, but it got a perfect picture of the covered grandstand and all the trees that were down here. Yep. There used to be a tree right there in the middle of the parking lot. I always remember that well.
And then the Legion building was out there.
The concrete, there's still a piece of concrete out there. That's where the concession stand was out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So,
that's crazy.
So that's been a long time. And then I can remember coming down here in the late 60s, early 60s, in the fire department, when we was the emergency helper. And, back then the track was flat and didn't have many rules, and the competition was fierce. And it was different than it is today.
Because back in the day, my dad told stories of coming up and helping with horse races.
Yeah.
They had horse racing down here.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of horse racing down here. And the sulky races.
Yep.
Wasn't the high school football field down here?
Yep.
And
baseball field too.
Baseball field is right out here in front.
There used to be dugouts. They were dugouts, and they had plywood covering them.
Yep.
Wow.
Them and the. Yep. Been a lot of changes.
There's some pictures. There's some overhead pictures you can see that you still see the layout of that. So,
it was a lot of games. That Nottoway Valley baseball. The town is the league.
Yep.
And then,
town league.
Yep.
And this is the only lit track. In the league.
I remember coming to football games where you park out here and you walk through.
Walk the plank.
Yep, exactly right. Exactly correct. That was right. You walk the plank.
Yeah.
That is true. So.
But it's a lot of changes, and they're maybe not all good, but most of them are. And you got to go with the changes.
I'm sure you're just glad it's still here.
Yep, that's right. Every Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that a lot of people that move into Corning. I mean, you've lived here your whole life, but people that move in or people that talk about Corning that aren't from here. The 3 things you think of about Corning: you think of the lake, you think of the racetrack, and you think of Johnny Carson. I mean, people that I talk about all the time, it's like, oh, where are you from? I said, well, I'm from Corning. And they, oh, yeah, that's the place with the racetrack, and that's where Johnny I'm like, that's what people think of, and you probably know it just as well as anybody, being a native of here, is this racetrack has a lot of history. And
it does.
And people, the town of Corning probably wouldn't be what it is without this place.
It's true. There's been a lot of things, and the fairs have had some nice fairs down there.
They have,
Yeah, it was. Remember the horse barns used to stick out into the track.
Yep.
And I can remember seeing cars go in one end and come out the other.
That's right. Absolutely correct.
And you know it well too that all these businesses on Main Street and things like that, and they get pull from this racetrack. You get outsiders come in from out of state, out of town to come here, and then now the new hotel's up out here. That hotel is packed when we have big races out here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But we're we have a great Main Street group here, and that's
they do a really good job.
Being part of it, so we're just all part of the big community. So
everybody spends a dime when they come to Corning after the races. Casey's so crowded you can't hardly get in there.
I know,
correct.
So. And they stay open till midnight.
They finally stay open
for that purpose. Yeah. So, well, Bert, we appreciate you getting on here. Congratulations. I hope you have a good family here with you.
They're all coming. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. So you'll hear us when we're going to start going out there. So
yep. Thanks, Bert.
Thanks, Bert. That's Bert Peckham, our fan inductee from our 2025 Hall of Fame induction.
Hey, Dad, it's 6:30.
It is 6:30. I know that. So, tell you what, folks, I knew it would be a fast show because it's jam-packed with everything we got going. Thank you very much for all of our Hall of Famers. Thank you very much for Katie Meyer from Keen Thummel Trucking being here, making the Trucker Night such a success. I haven't got to look, but I hope we got a lot of trucks out there. So
I don't know. I haven't looked.
I haven't been out there for a while, but I know we should be getting several more in here. But thank you very much, guys. We're going to have to sign off here for tonight's show, but I tell you what, folks, join us next week for Olson Power Equipment Night. And in 2 weeks for the Hampel Memorial.
E-Powered races next week.
Yeah, E-Powered races will be next week also.
And then in 2 weeks is the big one.
Yep.
Underdog Design 22 and the Hampel Memorial for the late models.
Yep.
So,
all right, folks. You've been listening to us here on Pitside Live. What do you say we go racing, Evan?
Let's go.
All right, for Evan Baldwin, this is Cliff Baldwin, and we'll see you next week on Pitside Live.